Hello, everybody. Austin here, and welcome back to another episode of Coach and Austin Discuss. I am joined, of course, by Coach.
What's going on, everybody?
And today we're going to be talking about something that just came out recently that I know the both of us have been playing a whole lot of, and that is, of course, the Nintendo Switch. So we both put quite a lot of time into it, and we kind of want to just give our impressions. I guess it's not really early anymore since we both had quite a bit of time with it, but just our impressions of the system. So off the bat, what would you say so far is your favorite thing about the Switch?
Favorite thing. Well, we can't really talk too much about the virtual console or anything like that. I mean, I do enjoy being able to take it on the go.
Yeah.
But just real quick, Breath of the Wild is not a game that you want to play on that small screen.
Yeah.
But I guess my favorite thing about that is just it's very compact and it has a lot of power for such a small device, I guess you could say. So we will be able to enjoy games like Breath of the Wild on this machine. It's not going to be a Vita. It's not going to be a 3DS. It's not going to be, we could have console type games and we could have portable games. So I guess that fact is what I like most about the Switch, is that we're going to be able to have both experiences, console and also handheld.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've mostly played Zelda so far. I mean, I've put about 60 hours into that game, but I've played a lot of other games as well, and stuff like, I was just playing the other day on a car ride. I was playing Fast RMX on the handheld mode, and that game is gorgeous. So it's just crazy to be able to play that stuff either on the go or on the TV. And I gotta say, I know you feel the same way. I really like the Joy-Cons a lot. I mean, they're pretty comfortable, especially in the grip. But of course, Pro Controller is better. But I mean, for what they offer with the system, the Joy-Cons are very good.
But let me ask you this: since you got your Pro Controller, have you gone back to the Joy-Cons when you're playing when you're in TV mode?
No.
Yeah.
The Pro Controller, and I've said this on Twitter and I think on the podcast, the Pro Controller is probably my favorite controller right now, possibly ever. So
that one, it is mine too. The Wavebird has a special place in my heart too. But this definitely is a controller where, and I find myself when I'm playing Breath of the Wild, I use the controller to not just aim, but to be accurate in my aim, because especially when you're out there and you're hunting beasts and stuff like that, and you're locked and loaded, just that little movement could get you where you could get a shot right in the eye or the side of the head or something, which is an instant kill.
Yeah. And I love that it has the gyroscope in the controller, because the Wii U Pro Controller didn't have that. Mm-mm. So, and that really played a part in like Splatoon, for example, where you couldn't play that game with the Pro Controller. You could only play it with the gamepad because of the gyroscope aiming. So that's
so you need the gyroscope for Splatoon.
Yeah, pretty much. And, that's fixed with this, so that's nice. And, so I like both the controllers, obviously. I mean, I don't know how much we want to go into the Pro Controller, since this is more about the Switch itself, but both layouts are good. I mean, obviously, like I said, the Pro Controller is better, but the Joy-Cons are still nice. And, honestly, reading into a lot of the reviews and stuff before launch, I was kind of concerned that they would give us issues because of the whole disconnecting and sync problems. And I've got to say, and I don't know if you've had anything, but personally, I have not had any issues with my Joy-Cons messing up or anything like that.
No, not once have my Joy-Con desynced, or I had to resync or something like that. But I guess before we move on, and just to finish up on the Joy-Cons, I just wish that they could sell another attachment that would have a D-pad on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it would be really smart to make a left Joy-Con that has a D-pad on it instead of the buttons.
But I don't even need, for that left Joy-Con, I don't even need an analog stick. Just replace the analog stick with, take the buttons off and then put the, or you can keep the buttons. I don't know why you'd use them, but, and then in that spot where the analog stick is, just go ahead and put a D-pad. So now you could truly play these games that require a D-pad, like Shovel Knight and Blaster Master.
Yeah, because I have to say, that's probably my biggest complaint with them is just the fact that there is no actual D-pad. Because I have played, when I'm on the go, I have played a little bit of both Blaster Master and Shovel Knight, and they just, I mean, they work, but without a D-pad, they are, a little harder to really control. So I do think that's a little, I don't know that it's necessarily an oversight, because I see what they're going for to make both of them kind of symmetrical for, using one as a controller, but still, I would have liked an actual D-pad, but at least the Pro controller solves that. So Now, what do you think about the OS?
I'm fine with it because they're keeping it simple.
Yes.
It's nothing crazy. Like, how many times does Microsoft screw with the Xbox One? And it's like your games are always like every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. They're always changed somewhere. So just as soon as you get used to it, they come out with a new layout. So I like the layout. It's basic. There's only a few things I'm ever going to go to is eShop and just the list of my games. So that's all I need. And then of course you have your little news item or whatever. So I like it. I like the setup. I like the interface. It gets you right into your game, or if you need to get on eShop, it gets you right, to where you need to be.
Yeah. Like you said, I think I just love that it's simple, because I mean, the PS4 is in a way, but like you said, the Xbox One OS is just atrocious, and I've always thought that. I mean, I love my Xbox One, but I cannot stand that OS. It is so complicated and confusing, and like you said, they change it all the time, so hopefully that doesn't happen with this. But
imagine going to a picnic and you have all types of foods and they're just spread out. Like your meats aren't in one place. You have your hot dogs in 3 different places, and you have to spend time looking for stuff.
Yeah.
And when Microsoft makes that change, it's just like, wait, what? So, and I like it. You get right to it, and so I think the user interface is awesome. I
will say, I don't know if you notice this at all, but on my TV it looks kind of bad, like the interface itself.
Not mine.
Yeah,
I don't play it on my TV. I play on my. I have an ultra wide monitor. I play on that.
That could be it. It might just be because it's expanded more on my TV, but it's kind of pixelated, like the clock and everything up at the top right. It's kind of. I don't know. It just looks kind of low resolution. I don't know if that's just me imagining things, but or looking too far into it. But it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't change my opinion. I still like the OS. So, and I got to say too, as far as the OS itself, it's extremely quick. I mean, both loading games and coming back out of games and loading up the eShop and everything. I mean, it's blazing fast. So, I guess what else? I mean, what do you think about the docking?
Okay, let's talk about. Well, yeah, let's talk about the issues that we've had so far. Yeah. And I haven't had an issue because I haven't really taken it out that much because I don't want to scratch my screen. I don't know how people. Maybe they're just slamming it in there, but I'm very careful when I put it in and out. But the dock takes up a lot of space, and this is what I brought up to you guys. Maybe just you, I'm not sure, but this is a Raspberry Pi, right?
Yeah.
So in the front, you got your 4 USB, and you got your high-speed internet port, and then on the side you have your HDMI and your audio, and then your USB, micro USB. That's all they really needed to do is something like this, and they didn't need to make that big well, that's not big, but it's just a waste of space, a waste of plastic, Yeah. I don't know if they're going to use that space inside, like when you open it up. I don't know if they're going to use that, or they kept it open so the cords could go in there, but it's just a weird design, you know, and it just, I don't know. It didn't need to be like that.
It doesn't bother me too much. I mean, you probably can't see it too well, but it's sitting right there on my TV stand, and I mean it looks good, but at the same time, like you said, there's a lot of empty space. I mean, I've looked into some teardowns and stuff, and like that whole front portion, there's like nothing in it. It's just a piece of plastic. So, and I understand. I mean, for the purpose of guiding the system into the dock itself, but I don't know. I kind of think, based off of the extreme lack of like really anything substantial in the dock itself, I mean, there's really not much hardware at all in it. I kind of think it would have been better off to do something like the Wii U gamepad's charging dock thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That came with the Wii U Deluxe.
Right. When I eventually when I play games, instead of using the kickstand, I have a little stand for my NVIDIA tablet, and I'll probably use that. And I think it's high enough to where I'll be able to actually plug in, because that's one of the issues too, is the USB, the port is on the bottom. So
yeah,
that was another a weird design flaw. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah,
as well.
I agree. I mean, especially when there's a kickstand on the system itself, and a lot of their advertisement like went into placing this thing on a table or whatever, and detaching the Joy-Cons and playing with friends. But for one thing, the battery life is not very long. I mean, it's manageable, but it's not like 10 hours. So you are going to be charging it a pretty decent amount. And the fact that they did put the charger port on the bottom, it is kind of weird. I mean, it hasn't really affected me so far just because I haven't played on the go too much. But it is kind of a pretty big oversight on their part for sure.
I don't know if it was an oversight, because I don't know if you could actually, because NVIDIA built this. So I'm sure there was talks or negotiations on, hey, this is how it is, or Nintendo's like, no, we're going to put it. I don't know. But imagine when you go to conventions, it doesn't matter what convention you go to, people are going to bring their Switches. Mm-hmm. And people are going to want to play Mario Kart online, and people are going to want to play Splatoon online, and LAN up or play together in groups and have competitions. That's just going to happen. And that's what makes the system so freaking phenomenal, is because now you can do that. But when you're playing in a big group, let's say we go to PAX East and we all bring ours, and we take a break and we go to an area and a bunch of us are playing. My stand, I'm almost positive, the one that I have for my tablet, I could use that, and I could hook up my battery charger to it. Mm-hmm. So while I'm playing, I won't have any issues. But, unless a third party comes out and makes something where you can do that, people, you're only going to be able to play for a few hours, and then,
I mean, the good thing is that you can still charge it if you're just playing it handheld form.
Right.
Whereas, like, if it's on your table, you can't. But if you're just holding it, it's not really an issue. But
you're not going to, if you're in a tournament, let's say you're playing Splatoon, you're not going to want to be holding that thing for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You put it on the table, and then you'll have your Pro Controller or your Joy-Cons, whichever ones work better for that game. And then you're going to go, you're going to go from there. Like,
on the topic of, have you messed around with the kickstand at all?
No, I'm staying away from that.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. See, I heard everybody say that, and I stayed away from it.
That's probably, like, as far as the physical hardware itself, that is probably the part that I think is the weakest. I mean, physically and metaphorically, it's very just cheap. I don't know. It feels super out of place compared to the rest of the system, because, I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen those videos. I think it was CNET of like them smashing it into the dock and like the kickstand flying off and all this weird stuff. It's not that bad. I mean, unless you're just seriously mishandling it. But at the same time, I mean, the thing is, it feels extremely flimsy, and I don't know that I'd really trust it. So, that is kind of weird. I mean, you'd think they'd work a little harder on that one, but. What else?
The screen. I mean, how do you feel about the screen?
I love it. I think is it 1080p? No, it's 720, but on the screen that size, you're really not going to notice.
Mm-mm. Nintendo games, you don't need to be 1080p.
No.
You know, as long as you have that good, you know, like for Mario Kart, 60 frames per second. Or let's see what other one was 60. Even F-Zero, I believe, was 60 frames per second back on the GameCube. As long as you have that, you know, once you get into a game that's intense, you forget about graphics. I mean, at first it looks pretty and all, but then once you get into it, you're not thinking like you're not thinking graphics. You're thinking you're focused in. So as far as 720, I'm not bothered by that at all.
I mean, it's the Vita's screen is like, I want to say like 540 maybe, and that is a gorgeous screen. So at the same time, the Switch is a slight bump up, and you know, looks reasonably better. So I think if you have messed around with the Vita screen at all, just imagine a bit better than that. That's about what the Switch screen is like. But you know, so we kind of touched on it a little bit, but with the Joy-Con scratching, a lot of people are having to buy screen protectors now.
Joy-Con scratching?
Did I say Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
With the screen scratching for the Switch screen.
Right.
A lot of people are having to buy screen protectors, and one thing I'm noticing, at least for me, is that my screen protector went on fine. I got a tempered glass.
Which one? Are you talking about the first one or the second one?
Well, the second one.
Okay.
I got a Hori one, and it was horrible. Horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah. And so the second one I bought was a tempered glass, and the one thing I'm starting to notice a little bit is that it's perfect on there, but at the same time, it makes the dock a little more snug.
Ooh. I haven't put mine on. I have the same one you have. I just haven't put it on yet.
It still works, but I am noticing that, because I guess there's a small little rubber piece at the bottom of the dock. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing on my screen that it is kind of like rubbing. It's not scratching. It's just leaving a mark there. So it is kind of weird, first off, that the dock is scratching. And second off, that, you know, people are still kind of having issues even with the screen protector. But the screen itself is great. So my only complaint is the reflection on it is kind of ridiculous.
On the tempered glass?
Yeah. I was playing in the car the other day, and I had to crank the brightness up, and I still had a pretty hard time seeing. So hopefully...
Well, I mean, I have it. I haven't put it on yet. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby, and I want to get some felt tape. And before, I mean, I am going to put that on, but I think I might wait until the kicks or the dock version, you know, 1.2 comes out or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to try the where the guiders are in is to put like some felt tape on that and see how that works.
Yeah, and I've heard people saying that does help. So I hope that's the case. I don't know what they're gonna do with the dock. Hopefully they
got to do something.
I mean, they have to replace them or something. Something's got to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, mine wasn't scratching when I didn't have a screen protector on it, but at the same time, obviously people's are. So it is pretty problematic. And I've heard some people say stuff about Wi-Fi issues too. No issues on that end for me. Mm-hmm. But I mean,
not yet because we haven't played any games online.
Yeah.
Or I haven't played any games online. Mario Kart drops next month, so about what 5-6 weeks or something like that when it comes out. So it's the 28th, right? April 28th.
I think so. It's around there.
Yeah, 28th, 25th, something like that. And so that's when we'll notice if it's good or not. Now, I do have my adapter that I use for the Wii U because the Wi-Fi on my Wii U just didn't work. And it was that one time that we started playing Mario Kart together about 2 months ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I think when I start playing like at home, like Mario Kart or Splatoon online, I'll use the adapter.
So here's the interesting thing, because I tried mine. I tried my adapter. And when you test the Switch internet settings, it'll do your basic like speed test. So it'll tell you what speed you're getting. And I'm using 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi on my Switch, and I'm getting about 40 down ish.
Really?
Yeah, over 5 gigahertz
For the Wi-Fi?
Yeah,
Ooh, nice. I didn't realize that.
and about 5 up, which is a little less than what it is wired. Interestingly enough, I plugged in my Wii U.
The upload is less?
Well, the thing is, I plugged in my Wii U Ethernet adapter, and I was suddenly getting 3 download and like
Whoa.
1 up.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if maybe they spec them for the Wii U's kind of processing power, because depending on how much processing power a component has, it's not necessarily able to handle like a 100 down or something like that. But so I kind of wonder if, these Wii U ones will work, but it seems to me, at least based off of my tests, that the speeds are way, way slower than they should be.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I'll run some tests on my end too, because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just assumed that it'd be faster.
Yeah, that's what I assumed too. But I guess not. There's really not much else to say. Not that everybody has not already said, but I have to say my biggest complaint has probably got to be the fact that friend codes are still a thing. And I know there are other options. I know you can add people if they're your friends on like Fire Emblem Heroes or Miitomo or Mario Run. But that should not be how you find your friends on the system. That's just, to me, it's 2017. It's absolutely ridiculous that friend codes are still a thing. I just don't understand why that's their main friend functionality.
Yeah, we'll see when it comes into place. The way to get around that, what does everybody do on Twitter? They take a picture of their friend code and then they post it as their pinned tweet.
That's what mine is.
Okay, see, I'm gonna need to do that so that way. But yeah, it's a little annoying, but I don't think it's gonna be like, I'm not too worried about that. I just want to make sure that when we're playing online that it's smooth, that there's no lag, there's no slowdown, that when we play Mario Kart, it's going to be like what we play on the Wii U.
Yep.
So
overall though, I'm super happy I bought it. I really love the system a lot.
Right. I was going to ask you, are you glad that you're an early adopter?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, not everybody's going to be happy with the system right now because of the games lineup. For me, though, with Zelda, like I said, I've put probably 60, 65 hours into that game at this point. It's already probably one of my favorite games of all time. I'm seriously still enjoying that game. And, we've got games like Binding of Isaac Rebirth, or what is it, Afterbirth, that just came out.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, and I've put a couple hours of that so far, and Fast RMX, and Snipper Clips, and Shovel Knight. And I know a lot of this is, especially between Shovel Knight and Binding of Isaac and a few things like that, it's kind of older games. But if you haven't played those games, like myself, at least for Binding of Isaac, I've already played Shovel Knight, but Binding of Isaac I've never played. So for me, at least, even though they're older games, because I haven't played them, I'm having a great time playing them on Switch. And so, like I said, I don't think it's everybody's perfect launch system, but for me, I'm very glad I bought it. Yeah. So,
and then for me, I'm glad I'm an early adopter. Remember, I was running my mouth saying, nope, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait.
I was too. I was
going to wait till Christmas time, or, Black Friday. And then I bumped it up about 6 months and I said, no, I'll wait till the end of April when Mario Kart drops. And then like that week, I'm like, I called you, dude, I'm getting it, man. I'm going to get it. So I am glad. I think for parents that want to get it for their children, or for gamers that just aren't big Nintendo fans or big supporters, it's probably best just to wait till Black Friday.
Absolutely. And that's perfect timing, because honestly, there's so many games coming out this year for the Switch that if you're to buy a Switch this fall, you're going to be set. Because there's so many games coming out between Zelda, which is already out, and Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 2 and all that stuff. You're going to be super
Fire
busy.
Emblem.
Yeah, Mario. So
Yep.
yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, I think a lot of the hardcore Nintendo fans and just hardcore gaming fans will probably enjoy the system right now. But yeah, like you said, more of the casual people and like kids and things of that sort, I think would be better off to wait until this fall for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, because and I've said this to you before, I kind of feel like we're kind of beta testing the system.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of features on the system that they've said are coming, like the online app, and they said that you are going to be able to search for friends via name at some point. So things like that are coming, and I have a feeling they're kind of going to roll it out throughout the next few months to kind of work out the bugs and everything before this holiday, when I'm sure the system will really take off. So yeah, but I guess that's really it. I mean, what do you think overall? Are you...
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't regret anything. I don't second guess myself on this. I'm having a blast. It's an amazing piece of tech. That's what it is.
Yes.
You know, it really is. And it reminds me of them going back to the GameCube days, because that was, of the three systems, I know it's more powerful than the PS2 because PS2 came out a year earlier.
Yeah.
But, you know, the only thing it was really missing was that HD. You know, they couldn't get to 480p, is 40i or something like that, or, you know. So, but that was still, GameCube was still a powerful system for its time.
Yes.
And so now what they're doing, they did it right. And heck yes, I'm very glad that I purchased this.
Yeah, so I guess that about wraps up our thoughts on the Switch. If you have a Switch, let us know in the comments down below what you think of it so far. If you don't have a Switch, let us know why. Why are you waiting? What is it not, showing you that you are wanting? And yeah, so don't forget, Coach and I are co-hosts over on the Retro and Modern Network podcast. You can check us out at retroandmodern.net. We post that every week. And then, of course, we also do Coach and Austin Discuss. So go watch some of our other videos, including our Zelda impressions and our GameCube Virtual Console wish list for the Switch. So, go check those out. And I guess until next time, we will see you guys later.
All right. Peace out.